Now I want to configure OSPFv3 in my network. All my routers interfaces are going to be configured under area 0. So let's go to routing OSPFv3 here. As you can see, I have a lot of tabs here to take care of. If I go to instances, I can see that this instance is not running. Again, I can select a router ID. But what is interesting about router ID? Router ID is kind of IPv4 format. So again, if you are working with IPv6, you cannot enter an IPv6 router ID format here. So I prefer to have 1111 for router ID. And I can select to change metrics again here. I don't want to do this. Again, you can see that it is not running because I haven't added any interface, and you can see that there is no network tab here. All IPv6 routing protocols are configured under interface level. So again, I need to go to areas and make sure that the areas that I want exist here. As you can see, area ID is 00004 area backbone. I go to interfaces and add interfaces one by one. I want to add interfaces, and all of these interfaces are going to go to area backbone. As you can see, we have again different types of networks to assign to these interfaces. If you have kind of, for example, serial interfaces that go through frame relay networks, or other kind of serial interfaces that are configured for point-to-point, or things like point-to-multipoint, you can select it. You can select to have an instance ID, a passive, or use bidirectional forward detection, or change the timers here. Again, I'm selecting all interfaces to go under backbone area. Click on OK, and as you can see, all interfaces are added here by default. Now, I don't have any neighbor created here because on the other side I haven't configured my networks. So let's go to router 2. On router 2, I want to remove RIP next generation. I need to go to routing OSPFv3. Here again, I'm going to add all interfaces, as you can see, to backbone area. And after some moment, you should see that there is a neighbor created on Ethernet 1 that is connected to router 1. It is actually router 3. So let's go to router 2, remove RIP here, go to routing OSPFv3 and add all interfaces to backbone. Go to router 4 and do the same thing here. I just want to go to routing RIP next generation and remove this. Go to routing OSPFv3 and add all interfaces to backbone. On ISP1 and ISP2, I want to do the same thing. So I go to OSPFv3 and add all interfaces to backbone. Let's go to ISP2 and do the same thing here. Remove this, RIP next generation, go to routing OSPFv3, and you can see it is very easy to configure this on your network. Okay, now that I have created these neighborships, now that I have advertise all my LSAs, now I want to go and check the routes. If I go to IPv6 routing table, you can see that these routes are all advertised using OSPF, and they are all dynamic and active. You can see the distance is 110, exactly like what you see in normal OSPF. And again, you can see a gateway, but the gateway's IPv6 address is the link local address of OSPF, and that is interesting because it is not using the global IPv6 address. It is using the link local IPv6 address to create a connectivity and neighborship between two routers. But again, if I go back to routing OSPFv3, I can go to routes and see which routes are coming here. and what are the gateways, what are the interfaces, and the cost to reach to those interfaces, and the state that are intra area for all of these routers. Now let's go to LSAs. Here you can see that we have different types of LSAs, but you can see some LSAs are new here, and I want to talk about this. Now take a look at internet and see different OSPFv3 LSA types and compare it to what you have in your network. What is important is this: we have router LSA, network LSA. These are exactly the same as what you see in normal OSPF. We have inter-area prefix LSA and intra-area prefix LSA. Let's see what these means. Inter-area prefix LSA is equivalent to type 3 summary LSAs. Okay? And about intra-area prefix LSA, this is kind of different. This is new. It tells me that a router uses intra-area prefix LSA to advertise IPv6 prefixes that are associated with me and any subnetwork that is connected to me, and attached transit network segments. And there is another one, link LSA. Any link that is connected to me, directly attached to me, I will send a link LSA for that link. And of course there are some other types of OSPFv3 LSA. You can see the number associated with these. You have router number 1, you have seen this previously. You have network for number 2, but the summary, as I told you, is exactly the same as inter-area prefix. So this is LSA type 3. We saw inter-area router LSAs, that is type 4. We don't see these too much. We have AS external LSA. We have this whenever we have a stop area and we select to translate type 7 to this. We have group membership LSA. We don't see this because this is associated with multicast, I guess. And this is type 7 LSA that is originated from a router that is ASBR. Now link LSA is type 8 and intra-area LSA is type 9. These two are quite new in our network. Now you can see that, for example, in router 2 I have link LSA that is originated, for example, from different routers. This is originated from router 1. And other routers, I forgot to configure the instance for their router ID. If I go here, I can select to have 2222, for example, for router 2. And after sometimes I should see that this is changing and the originator of these links are router 2. And after some time, when creating the neighborships again, I will receive other LSAs from other routers. Now I will change all the routers ID, and in the next section I want to show you how to create different areas and how to add different interfaces into these areas in OSPFv3.